opening day. What's happened, Dad?
I've seen a few bucks. Rick doesn't want to shoot any of them.
I've seen a few smaller fours. Jake's down there trying to find some stuff. My GoPro won't work, so we're using the phone.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly.
A little chilly.
Well, Dad just fell in that hole. We're having a little bit of a rough start. Got the camp chef over here.
What's up? Burning.
Turkey bacon. Where are the eggs?
They're over there.
Oh, help
Put
me
them in the
out.
shade.
Yeah, we just got back to camp. It's our first morning. We got out last night for about an hour, but first real morning of hunting. We were planning on pulling our trailers clear up to the top and couldn't get up there. It's so muddy and snowy, so no, he's in your truck. So this is where we're at. We'll see what we can do tonight. Update is,
Give us an update.
we've seen a couple smaller bucks. We saw a big one this morning, but of course it was 100 yards in private. So we hope we see him a little later on. Hopefully we can get a chance at him. So, but yeah, it was a pretty good morning. So how many bucks would we see? Saw about 12, 13. So yeah, solid. Yeah, a couple little fours, but nothing we want to shoot. Big enough yet, so we had a couple falls on the mountain, so we're making sure guns are still on. Yep. Jake, tell us about your fall. It's hard to see logs when there's a foot of snow. And Dad, sling came off his gun. So his gun hit the dirt pretty hard, but all the guns are on, so 500-yard shots. We're getting ready for the night hunt. It's cold and windy. Got Dad, Jake, and Kels showed up. Kels. We're ready to roll. So this buck is the buck we had the other day. He likes to linger between another unit and another private property. So we haven't been able to get a shot at him. He likes to just sit about 100 yards off the road and look at us because he must know he's on the right side or something. But he's been on our side of the line one time, and we tried to cut him off as he was going back towards the private, but couldn't get there in time. But he's become my #1 buck, and so this is the buck that I've been trying to kill and trying to sit on, hoping he'd come across that line. So that's the plan for tonight. I'm gonna sit where this buck has been hanging out and where he likes to cross and see what happens. Hopefully he comes out. Well, I think it's night 3 of our Colorado hunt. We've had some pretty bad luck. We've screwed up on a couple bucks. I'm after one buck. He's kind of teetering between private property and a different unit, actually. So, but I really want him, so I'm trying to be persistent and focus on him. He's a pretty buck. I'm just waiting. I was set up waiting for him to cross, and he never came. So I'm just waiting for them to come get me on the 4-wheeler. But it's been fun. It's cold. Most of the time my GoPro won't even work. But yeah, hopefully we get something done here. We have 4 more days, so It's supposed to snow tomorrow, so hopefully that's good. Well, I'll keep you updated. Right there still.
Is he feeding or is he looking?
He's looking that way though.
Where's Jake at?
Right there. He's right there. Oh, he's looking at Jake now. Ooh, he's pretty big. Jake needs to get off the freaking skyline. Why'd he go clear up there? Well, here's day, what, 4? Jake, what's the update?
5.
Is it day 5?
6.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, it is day 5. Day 5.
Snowed out.
Snowed out.
We just went and got breakfast at the cafe.
Whoa.
It's a little snowy outside.
T-Man bought for the first time that we can
First
remember.
time ever.
Oh, whatever.
She had to buy.
They're cheap. Jake, what's the update been?
Well, we've screwed up on about every big buck that Brooke has been wanting to shoot.
Okay, Jake,
but
since I'm getting gas, you're going to go get the hamburger and hot dogs. And,
hamburger and hot dogs.
Hey, Dad, we're giving an update.
Oh.
We're not thinking about food. And just, yeah.
Well, it is morning of day 6. Day 5, we didn't get out and hunt at all. It was so snowy and socked in, so we ended up just going into town. That night, it had snowed so much on our trailer that we had about a foot and a half of snow on top of the trailer. We ended up getting the buddy heater started, and it warmed things up just enough that the stuff on top of the trailer started to melt, and then it shut off and the buddy heater wouldn't work the rest of the night. So because of the condensation, it started to drip into the trailer and all over our stuff. And then we had no heater all night. So our stuff got wet and then it froze. The top half of my pillow was completely frozen all night. So yeah, we had a pretty rough night. I think by the morning we were ready to get out of there and jump on the wheelers, even though it was a pretty rough wheeler ride in those conditions. But we head up the mountain and we end up getting all the way to the top, and where we usually hunt, we have to go across the ridge for quite a ways, and we couldn't even get on the road. There was so much snow. So we're up there trying to figure out what to do, and we end up turning around, start heading down the mountain, and we spot some deer across the canyon, and Jake ends up spotting this pretty nice buck, and we decide that we need to go after this buck because we only had a couple days left and the snow had created some challenges for us. So we hop off the wheelers, we start running down the mountain to try to get set up on this buck. He was kind of going through some brush and dipping lower, so we end up getting to a perfect little spot where we can see across, see everything, and get a shot off, and I set up. And Jake tries to set up, and he ends up not being able to get set up on him, and so he tells me, if you have a shot, shoot him. And his does were coming up out of this little patch of brush, and he ends up stepping out, and I have him in my crosshairs, so I end up squeezing the trigger.
It's a nice buck. Nice little 150 buck. He looks pretty big right there, but.
Is that worth the tag?
Yeah.
Yeah, check that sucker out.
Oh.
You might have a taxidermy bill.
Oh, he's cool. His beams are so big.
Yeah, his beams are really long, and he's actually a buck I passed last year. I got pictures of.
Look at that shot, T.
Yeah, Brooke made a perfect shot from
550.
550. I didn't even know she could shoot that far.
Oh, he's sweet.
Yeah, let's see him.
Here, let me take my pack off. Call Jake.
What?
He's lying.
Huh? He's about 150, huh? Huh?
Where's your keys?
Here, you're gonna look what happened to my pocket. You gotta be careful. Totally ripped out. Pick that thing up. That's cool.
God, he's a good buck.
He is a good buck.
I watered the tag and
Thanks, Smalls. Thanks for spotting him.
Yeah, I remember, I just see these doves and all of a sudden I see a big old Hank, just big old body coming off the top, and I saw it was a 4-point, a decent one. I'm like, we gotta go. Well, I knew he was good, but he actually didn't look. He didn't look that good.
Let's get it.
This was, she finally didn't airball this one.
That was a tremendous.
I thought, no way.
I heard the pop. I said
Well, I saw the buck and I saw it like stand there, and then all of a sudden it ran off. I'm like, well, she didn't hit it.
Well,
She definitely hit it. Yeah.
Oh, what a good day.
Probably pretty
That
excited
truck-
when you could see the blood.
yeah, that truck went by, and I knew my pack was on the wheeler, so I wanted to make sure they weren't by the wheelers. So I hiked up, and then I was like, oh, let me see if I could see him from up here. And I saw the blood over here, and I was like, oh, that's a good sign.
I'm glad he's bigger than 150.
Well, I kind of thought you guys were kidding, just because. So when Jake walked up on him, he's like, oh my, are you kidding me? And then he caught him and he's like, oh, he's 150. And then the thing that gave it away the most was Dad, oh, 145. And I was like, Dad's not going to say lower.
Calm down.
Let's see your tag real quick.
Well, big buck down. Woohoo! There's my dad right there.
Good day on the mountain.
There's Brooke, the shooter, the buck killer. 550.
We worst pack outs of my life.
We just went through a gnarly pack out, that's for sure. We're beat and we're gonna go get some Mexican food and go rent a hotel because last night was too cold.
Here's our second to last day at camp.
Yeah.
Jake's cooking burgers for us. He's the one, he's got a deer tag. My dad's got an elk tag left. There's my buck. So we've got one tag filled, 2 tags, and tonight and tomorrow morning. Well, it's our last morning of this hunt. Jake just went off. We had a buck on the ridge this morning, but he couldn't get a shot till he got on the skyline, and we really don't like shooting on the skyline, so he let him go and came up and tried to track him in the snow, but it didn't pan out. He couldn't find him. He was a pretty nice buck, not huge, but he was nice, really tall and heavy. It's snowing on us pretty good right now. My dad's up there driving the road trying to pick Jake up. I killed my buck 2 days ago, and the weather's just been really bad. Where we were hunting, you can't even get to anymore because of the snow. It's so deep on top. But we've had a really good trip. My dad could have shot a bull yesterday, a little 4-point bull, but it was in a bad place and we didn't really want to pack one out of there, especially that wasn't big. But we've had a fun time. I'm glad I made a good shot on my buck, and Jake passed up a lot of bucks trying to find a really good one. He killed one on this hunt last year and he wanted one that was a little bigger, so he passed up a lot of good bucks. But this hunt's been really fun. There's my dad. I've been out here 7 days. Oh, the weather just didn't, the last few days the weather's been pretty crappy. It snowed really bad like 3 days ago, and then we didn't even get out that day, and then 2 days ago is when I killed my buck, and it was just freezing. And we didn't get out that night because it took us so long to get him out. It was a pretty hellacious pack out. And yesterday it was really windy. We got out but didn't see much. Like I said, just that elk and a couple little bucks. And then this morning we had that pretty good buck, but the weather came in so bad that we can't really see anything. You can't see any of the ridges around us. So I think we're gonna call this one and get out of here this morning before we get really snowed in. So it's been a good hunt.